There we go. Finally able to capture it. So look at that. Updating some random huge string of one packs. So this is what was happening yesterday. Sorry, welcome back everybody to another Musings, but this is the kind of silly. Now, from a programming perspective, I could see that until it was figured out, it would just throw out a random placeholder for updating X amount of packs, or it could be a variable that wasn't initialized to 0. So it was just whatever chunk of random memory was there before. Either way, I mean, it's just silly because I don't have 40,000 of one packs, or like maybe it's checking. Either way, this is a really cool thing. So, and again, every day I'm just blown away by technology. Because technically I'm not signed in on this PlayStation 5, and this game thinks it's a PlayStation 4. Anyways, but look at things like this. We've got a new brush graphic, and we've got, where's the other one? Cherry sapling, or yeah, cherry sapling. That looks so cool. It looks like an ice cream cone tree or something, or like, I don't know. It looks awesome. And I don't even know what other things got an update, but this is the city texture pack. I forget who the creator is. Can we look at that? Let's see. I mean, and please, any of this like be in doxing information. Please don't do anything. I mean, there you go. City texture pack. Read more. Eh, let's try to view it in the store and see if that breaks anything. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Look at that. Okay, R1 doesn't work. L1 doesn't work. Um, I give it a 5-star rating. I mean, that it is like by far. Actually, yeah. Write down any feedback and send it directly to the creator. Your message will not be posted to the marketplace and the creator will not be able to respond. I love this texture pack. And it does matter. I mean, just taking a few seconds. Like, you're watching this, you're taking a few seconds to watch this. I love this texture pack. Thank you so much for this. Just showing somebody some gratitude. They're going to get this message and it's going to make their day just amazing. Like, thank you so much. For making it. And I mean, normal, classic Minecraft. There we go. I love this texture pack. Thank you so much for making it. That's it. Just sending a nice feedback. Because they need to know. And that's the cool thing with technology now, is it's not implied so much anymore. You can actually say things to people. Like, I don't know who that person is, but there is an option to send them an email. Same with this one. Like, if you ever want to send me a message, although I don't check that email very regularly, so it might take a while, but there's an email on my YouTube. You can send an email to, I think it's A-Rye public or A-Rye social media. I have two public-facing emails to use for when I need to hand out my email, um, and other people can see it, which is a very rare situation. But as a YouTube creator, you have to have some kind of email linked there. But then I have like my main real email linked to this actual YouTube account. So, and even that could be a throwaway. Like every time you lose your wallet or have to get like a new credit card, you have to go through the same or very similar process of going through and reconnecting, which I actually need to do today because I got a new credit card. Um, all because I think I got duped by um, a scam. Like I got an email that looked, and it didn't even look official. That's the thing. I'm kind of embarrassed by it. Like, and being a white hat ethical hacker, I wouldn't even really call myself an ethical hacker because, oh, whoops. I mean, I used to be kind of a social engineer, but I was disgusted with taking advantage of people. I was like the anti-social engineer. Like, in fact, I had a friend when I was really little, very close friend, and we've actually talked since then, and it was a very bittersweet thing. Like, I don't know, like I hated the guy. I mean, I loved him as a friend and a brother, but then I hated him because I found out he was stealing from me. And I was like just completely betrayed. And it wasn't much, but it was my Lego nights. So in a little context, I grew up not the richest of families, but not the poor. I'd say middle class to lower middle class. Like, I mean, we had a roof over our head. We had working cars, more or less. Although we lived in Buena Vista, so you could literally walk everywhere. In fact, I walked to school across town, like multiple times. In fact, I saw my buddy driving to school once, which is a whole nother story. But anyways, and in a lot of farming communities, you can drive as young as like, elementary school if you have like a tractor license or whatever. I mean, because they expect family to be able to contribute. So that's like, kind of like the law of the land type area. And I don't know how young it is, but I know it's a lot younger than like 15 is the normal American age to where they're like, okay, you can start driving as long as you have an adult with you. Because worst case, the adult can, help you stop the car safely, pull over, and then take over for driving. Like they can just become the driver. So, oh, yeah. But anyways, yeah, back to that. Like, I remember we made the pencil stealing club. And that was the whole point of it, is we would steal people's pencils and then them, sell them back to other kids. Like, so we were gaining an inventory. It was basically like watching Ed, Ed, and Eddie, those cartoons where they were trying to get jawbreakers, only we were trying to get lunch money to buy things. And I remember we had the pencil stealing club, which didn't live more than a couple of days because we had one friend, and I feel bad because I feel like this person hated me for this just because of my association. I'm sure he hated the guy that took it, but he had a brand new nice pencil. He was really excited about it. Someone in his family gave it to him. It was a really cool thing. And the communal thing to do would have been like, "Oh, hey man, that's a nice pen," and then move on with our day, like, and leave it at that, like it's his pen. Like, concept of property and ownership needs to be more implied, that if it's not yours, don't touch it. I mean, and if you just find it, like finders keepers, losers weepers is the biggest dumb thing. Just 'cause it rhymes and just 'cause it's catchy is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, and that's basically how we did America. Like, we finders keepers, losers weepers, killed all of the almost all. Sorry, there's still a trickle of them that live. Also, look at that. I don't know. I did a couple videos yesterday, but I was so tired and groggy that I deleted them. I was like mumbling, like maybe touch too much grass. Just kidding. I didn't even realize what the real meaning of touching grass was. I was like, oh, because I heard it. My kids were watching a YouTube video. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to explain that one day. And then I come to find out it means going outside, which we did touch grass in that sense the other day. But as someone who's Colorado sober, in Colorado, touching grass could mean something completely different. Mm. Anyways, this is my memorial, floating memorial and temple so far. I love it because it's incorporating nature, growing trees. I need to do a lot more work on it. As you can see, like this entry doesn't exist. Like I want to grow all the trees tall enough to where they're the actual columns holding up the second floor. Or maybe I'll make extra columns because I do like the white bars look of like a lot of like America's government buildings, which is based off of Greco-Roman art. I don't even know about Roman. Like I haven't studied Roman culture and history as much. Greek was just so much more fascinating, and that's where you get like. And actually, I might butcher this too because they're so similar they could collide. But I'm pretty sure. So the Parthenon, the Acropolis, were all Greek temples. Actually, the Parthenon might be more Roman. I don't know. I see that's something I'd have to look up, but I definitely have like glazed over that stuff. I took several art history classes. Hmm. In fact, let's go ahead and do this. So we've got some books. I do want to make a list. So let's just throw together a hodgepodge list of jobs and education because really, and I'm still trying to figure out a more centralized way to do this. But like LinkedIn does it. But LinkedIn is so scammy and like you have to give a lot of information there because you're looking for a job. But because of the things that job recruiters need to know, it's very dangerous because then you're giving a lot of information to anyone on the internet that knows your first name and your last name. And then you also have to have a picture there, so then it's really easy to confirm that. And of course, I've got my face on my YouTube channel, and I've got my face on my X app, and I've got my face on my Facebook. Like, But I have a zero trust policy with everything. I don't answer the phone. I don't answer direct messages. I just don't. I could care less about you. In fact, if you try to scam me, not only will I assault you technically, I'll pass you over to the Alphabet Agency. Now, there are a few different ways to report scams. The best way is to report directly to the software stuff and let their security team handle it. But then you're putting that on their radar, and then they get to study the technique and be like, oh, okay, this is new. And then, boom, then they're going to start looking for those patterns. And as people report them, they're also going to start tracking your IP, your region. Like, that cybersecurity boot camp was one of the best things I've ever done. 10 grand, so it was expensive, but it gave me such a great look into the cyber world. Now, I don't actually use my cyber training in my day to day. Like, I do a little. I mean, I do handle security, some security. Like, it's my team that we can collaborate together on the security for our organization. But more importantly, we've got government agencies really close. Like, the CIA is in everything. And it's kind of scary, like the George Orwell 1984 or whatever, but. And actually, hold on, my lunch just got done. I just need to take it out and put it in the basket so it doesn't get moldy or I forget about it. Never mind. It's still quietly going. Usually I leave one headphone off my ear so I can hear the outside world, but this time I'm being totally immersed in the Minecraft experience. And I need to get a new headset too. I know this isn't the best recording hardware, but I don't spend a lot of money on myself like that. And I'm not a professional YouTuber per se. But I am a professional, cybersecurity professional, tech professional, gamer. Like, I've got all sorts of other labels. YouTuber, it's actually growing because of these shorts, and I feel apologies to people that are just joining and thinking that. That's why I'm trying not to like overly laden my channel with like, because I upload a ton of videos. Like, this is a ton of me talking to myself, trying to figure out the world's problems, or at least like talk through them to where somebody else can take it and run with it. And I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again. My favorite statue is, and I don't even remember what it says or what it looks like. I just know the gist of it, the general gist, which is one of my characters in my upcoming projects that I'm working on for child education or education. Let's see. Musings. Yep. All people are trying to just live their best life, yet allow others to as well. Then we got a movie list started. Fight Club, Adam Sandler, Monty Python, which is great. Actually, wait, whoops. We got to add Dogma. That is one of my favorite movies because it has God is a woman. And you don't, and I'm sorry, that is a spoiler, but you don't find that out to the very end. But it is such a funny movie. It's got George Carlin in it, like an old comedian. And I remember one of my buddies was telling me that comedians are going to fix the world. They're going to say the things that other people are too shy or bashful to say, and they'll say it as a joke, but once it's said, it's said, and then the idea can percolate in people's minds and it can grow and what have you. So, um, and yeah, and world peace. We all want world peace. It's just a lot of people don't want to pay for it. And that's the problem that we're getting into, especially here in America, is like, people just don't want to pay for it. It's expensive. I mean, wars are expensive and they destroy, and then who's going to pay for that? And America is one of the biggest offenders. We just drop bombs and like, all right, see ya. Like, gee, thanks, sign the global community. Also, look at that. Those two are double trees now. So you can see like it's got like almost like a skirt. Like there's two distinct areas of leafage. Whereas there, it almost looks like it, but it's not completely around. So this tree and the tree right next to it, oddly enough, look like just single trees. But they do have this extra growth on this one side, which is pretty common for jungle trees to just kind of throw a random couple of blocks out to the side. Now let's see, that looks like a double one, but honestly, I think that might be the same thing. Actually, I need to go up there and see if I have the tops capped with... Oh, and of course I dropped all this stuff. Oh, nope, there we go. But we don't have dirt. Oh well, I'm just gonna go harvest some dirt real quick. and bring it up here because I think I'm going to extend this temple. Like this is, and I need to make a more proper entryway, like how to get up here. All right, and I just need a little dirt. There we go. And we'll take that thing too. I mean, I like the uneven floor of the jungle, so I don't want to like destroy it too much. In fact, here we go. We could even make that a divot. And I like how these logs are just over with mushrooms growing on them. Ugh, it looks so cool. I love Minecraft. This game is easily my favorite game. Easily. Okay. So, and for a while there, I was chopping down the trees up here, but I think I'm going to hold off on doing that and maybe have like an actual tree harvesting area and leave this area alone. And I only have the one ladder up because I feel like I'm going to eventually make water ladders so I can just shoot up. But I've been exploring the nether and I haven't really found much per se. Oh, also I need more slabs. So this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be a three wide platform that goes on all of them. Oh, yep. I do have one. Oh, wait. Okay. It's not covered by the thing, because I thought that might prevent it. Let's see. So all of them are topped, which looks funny. Now there's a cannabis growing kit that you can buy, which looks exactly like... I had a buddy, and I wouldn't put it past him. I need to see, because I haven't talked to this buddy for years. We actually kind of had a falling out, because he was going into how to grow and how to like make mad money off of making grow kits for people that they could use at their house. We all had experience in growing massive amounts of cannabis, but this one, I mean, unofficially off the record. I mean, it's legal now. Hmm. Like I said, I've had a checkered past. I was bored as a kid, and weed, it's pretty harmless. Not only is it pretty harmless, it's pretty healthy too for your health. Like, it'll make you live longer. It'll make you happier. It'll make you funnier. It'll make you say things and think things that you wouldn't normally say or think if you didn't use cannabis. If you just sat around, especially if you just used alcohol, because alcohol is like the anti-thinking, the anti-creativity. I mean, you can still have some pretty creative times when you're drinking. You're trying to problem solve, like, because you can't drive. So that's one of the biggest things. Like, okay, how do I get from point A to point B? And I've been drinking. I don't want to get a DUI. So then you get like longboards and bicycles and scooters and all of that. And then like if depending on how drunk you are, like that's even more risky or interesting and like crashing everywhere or doing stuff and it's just who needs it? Oh, also I think this is new. Like that looks new. This arrow. I think the menu got a revamp because this all looks slightly new too. And oh, I have no idea. Like all of this already looks cool because it's not your typical Minecraft. But then like I don't know. It could be something completely different. I don't know. I don't know. It's so beautiful. I love it. Oh, and now the creator knows that I love it. They might not know who I am, but yeah. Oh, then anyways, musings. Let's see. So dogma. Let's do. I have a lot of pages. I wonder how many pages you can actually make. That we'll just leave it at that because I feel like that's a lot of pages. Okay. Let's do class list. And this isn't a perfect list. It's just what I'm going to try to remember, and then we're going to move on. Whoops. Forgot this is how you jump down. So class list. Just in high school, I took statistics. Statistics. Western Civ, which is Greek, Roman, kind of like the birthplace of democracy, we call it. Western Civ, or civilization. Let's see. Speech? Actually, let's call it public speaking, because I think it was just called speech, but public speaking is basically what it is. It's more descriptive of what the class was. We had to come up with speeches, and we had to get used to talking in front of people, getting past the jitters and how awkward it is. Also, I need to put a alarm on because I am not paying attention to the time. Let's see, we got about 10 minutes. And then we'll call this one. Okay. And yeah, the kiddos are on their way. They're just running behind a little bit today, which is fine. I'd rather them be fed and happy. Let's see, 10. Oh, just 11. There we go. All right, so public speaking, not speakers. And what else? I feel like there was 4 classes. I did music appreciation or music theory, but I failed it. And maybe that is the 4th class that I took. Statistics, Western Civ, public speaking. Oh, English composition. We had to take that because we didn't even have a senior English at our high school. English composition. You had to take a class at community college. Composition. There we go. English composition. So yeah, I already had 12 credits and I did just fine in all these classes. I mean, statistics, I think I got a B or an A. Western Civ, I got an A. Public speaking, A. English composition, I'd say A or B. I don't know. I was touching a lot of grass in high school, and I don't encourage anybody to do that because what I know now about the developing brain, it's scary. But at the same time, like youngsters are getting drunk and wild, like, and that also damages the brain and causes, changes. So it's hard. I like the South Park thing. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. There's a time and place for everything, and it's called college. Because by that time, it's better than in high school. Because if you're messing up in high school and doing that stuff, like there might be something seriously wrong, or you're extremely bored, or you don't have enough stimulation with like normal things. Let's see, there's a time and place for everything. And I feel like everybody should be able to do that. They should be able to go backpack through Europe. There's a time and place. Or they should be able to go wander the world. Like, but not everybody can do that. In fact, most people can't, especially Americans. Like, it's so expensive. It's like a couple $1,000s just to fly over there to Europe or that hemisphere. Hmm. Let's see. Everything. And it's called college. But that college age is when you need to be able to. All right, it's Thulin, one of our backup accounts. It's called college. Okay, that's what Chef says in one of the. In fact, we're gonna do a little dash here. South Park. I get most of my education from South Park. Now, I'm just kidding. Like, I get a lot of education from South Park. They have a very large amount of profound things. This is just a couple of stoners sitting around thinking of like very profound things. They're touching grass in the other way. All right, let's go ahead and just leave that. And the importance of that, the significance of that. So, comedians making fun of things, like poking holes in things, it's because it's also showing the blind spots to people. Like they might not have think about it. Now it's going to be offensive because they're like, it's going to be like ripping on somebody. Like they have this nice, beautiful product and they think they're doing this great thing. They're doing a bunch of great work and they're selling this thing to people and they're trying not to sound like a snake oil salesman, which we used to actually have people that would sell tinctures and lie about what they did. Most of the time they were just like cocaine and drugs and all this in a bottle. I'm talking Western times now. And just over the counter, like even cough medicine had like, cocaine, opiates, like opium is basically heroin, or heroin is a form of opiate. And just basically these like hardcore drugs, and it would just really mess you up, and you'd forget you were sick. It's like super elixir, just like and again I'm watching Breaking Bad again for like the 15th time all the way through, and there's that one scene where Hank's talking to Walt in the back, and they're just talking about what things are legal and what used to be legal, and Hank's like, meth used to be legal. They used to sell in every, truck stop across the country because truckers need to stay awake. They need to be wired. They need to be alert because they could kill a lot of people. In fact, we have, I'm not saying truckers should go out and do a bunch of meth. It's actually illegal now, but that was a thing for a while there. There was a bunch of truckers all spun up on meth, like driving around, just driving for like 12 hours a day, which is ridiculous. And like, thankfully, we're coming up with alternative solutions for even that. And like, one of the biggest things is centralizing production. Like, if you want to sell your product in a part of the country, you should make a factory there and just keep it to that. And like, maybe it could be like a mini factory, only produce what's needed, but that way you're not hauling that stuff across this country because it's a big country. And and you can like, and thankfully, and that's one of the things that Bill Gates, whatever you think about him, because I feel like Bill Gates gets as much negative attention from one side as Elon Musk gets his negative attention from the other side. Like, a lot of people are paranoid of old Bill. They think that he's like trying to poison Indians, and like depop, or at least trying to kill off a large amount of the population. And like, I don't know. I don't see it. If there was even a shred of evidence, if we found out that one of his vaccines that he was giving to another country had anything but the vaccine in it, I feel like that would be huge news. I don't know. But then again, as I say that, vaccines do have a lot of weird stuff in them. Like, I've heard like embalming fluid, or just different things or like chemicals to make it work the way it does that aren't technically lethal in that dose, but or like mercury. I feel like mercury used to be in vaccines and stuff, and like, growing up, I'd hear stories about my parents playing with a ball of mercury on their desk, and now you would never hear of that. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, don't touch mercury!" Like if a thermometer breaks, you're supposed to be very careful picking it up. Oh, oops, sorry, sorry. What are you all doing here? Maybe I should actually let's get rid of all these. Let's make a new, because clearly we can't handle it with like the AI that's controlling these villagers because they're stuck. Same with the pandas nearby. I think I'm gonna have to go back and space those out because they're too close. But yeah, in fact, let's thin this out at least. Okay. What I was gonna do is maybe a little ways away, so it's still okay. Now the laundry's done, but we only got like two and a half minutes. So let's see. So let's move this over here. And I had Cartman on my laptop just because that's the only sticker they had. I wanted Stan or Kenny, but Kenny is kind of bad because Kenny dies in a lot of the early episodes, so it's like, kind of like an omen of death. Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, let's space them out 1, 2, I guess. I don't know. Now, whatever. If they're up here, then they're kind of stuck. I don't know. We do need to go through and build more houses. I might do some of that today. Tomorrow I'll be making some more videos, hopefully. Um, or I might actually finally spend some time doing web development. So I guess that's the other thing. We'll go ahead and talk real quick about, like, I've got a few projects going on. Alright, so let's see. So that's class list. That could actually be quite a few things, and I'll go ahead and fill those up. But let's see. We'll do this empty page. Well, because we've got movie list. That might be 2. Class list. Let's do projects. And we'll just have these for, like, let's see, projects. Political translator. And I think we're close to that with ChatGPT. We just need to have, like, people organize that and put it somewhere. Translator. Because I follow Ali K. Miller, translator. Political translator. But basically, the politics in America are so convoluted with confusing tactics and everything. It's a giant fine print. That's all it is. And they're doing this because they're sneaking one over at people. Now, hmm, let's see. Political translator. Memorize the presidents. Oh wait, actually, um, website, web server. There we go. Because I want to make a few web servers, but in order, and like before I even do any of that, I have to make sure that they're protected. Let's see, memorize presidents. U.S. presidents. I mean, I took two history classes too, so I did study the presidents and what they did, like a general overview of all the presidents. Let's see, and this is a Scratch program based off of what? Scratch program. And Scratch is a wonderful free tool by MIT that lets kiddos learn how to write computer code or like the basic understandings of writing computer code. Let's see, memorize U.S. President Scratch program, and then this one is Charlie Day Wall, which is actually just a whiteboard. Charlie Day Wall, but and I really do. I want to talk to Charlie Day and get his good graces, and be like, I'm a big fan. I love his show, Charlie Day Wall. I liked it more when I was drinking. Now I don't drink, so it's not as funny or relevant. But let's see, Charlie Day Wall, and that's also a web server. But basically, I'm going to have to look into uh, Jamboard and its replacements because Jamboard basically did that. And you'll notice in a few of my videos. In fact, I think I show the Jamboards in my Python learning playlist. I'm just gonna leave it because it does. I'm teaching how to program Python, and I go over like current world problems and their potential solutions. So, yeah. Let's see, Charlie Day Wall, and then um, one last one, and then I'll go hang up my clothes. Distributed, and I hang up the clothes. I try not to use the dryer if I can. Distributed positive social engineering. Social engineering, and that's basically religion in a nutshell. That's what like religion was supposed to be, at least in my mind. Like, I really don't buy the whole God came down and told people to write this. It's like, no, these are the holy ways to live to where everybody can live and people aren't too greedy, and like, because there's a lot of really good in religion, like all religions. I mean, if you look at Islam, if you look at Christianity, if you look at Judaism, like they teach you, they're like, hey, this is how you should be a good person. You know, don't rob from people, don't hurt people, don't kill, like all of these things. Or Islam is more like kill only when necessary, don't run around doing these things. And like, then you look at the actual people, and we don't know what Jesus did for a lot of his life. Jesus could be just as bad as Muhammad, running around getting drunk, banging hookers. Like, I'm just kidding. We need to legalize adult work anyway, because hookers is just kind of like a slur derogatory term, which is generally mostly female, which if you're a fan of Mickey Avalon, he's like a trendsetter of making that for males too. Anyways, I digress. With that, I will leave you with those parting thoughts. Ta ta for now. I will see you in the next one.